Hello, friends. This is Becky with Becky Budgets, and today I wanted to do a different type of video. So one of my dear friends that has been on this journey since the very beginning, her name is Abby, reached out to me when I announced that I hadn't been able to prove that I needed the new Budget Moms workbook because I couldn't justify it due to our spending and our journey, and that I was going to stay on the printable version. And so she reached out to me and said, hey, I'm gonna do the workbook and I wanted to gift you one. So I wanted to say a really big thank you to her for this. Now, I don't know what came in, so we're gonna unbox this together and take a look at it. It did come in this week, and just with work and everything, it's been a little difficult to sit down and open it. So I'm really excited to see what came in. So here's the box. When you open it, it comes in with a 10% off, and it says that it's for me and my friends. So feel free to use this code for 10% off your own book. And it looks like there were 2 in here, so that's awesome. And let's go ahead and take a look. Yay! So I ended up getting the oil slick version. It did come in 2 different, let me just move this box. It did come in different, 2 different styles. There was a floral style and an oil slick style. I loved both of them, but I did want one that would remind me of Abby. So I went ahead and let her choose. So here is the book. It is very good quality. And one thing this year is that this cover is repositionable. So for those of you who like to change those up, perfect for you. I'm not the type of person that will change up my budget book because it stays at home and it's here for me. And then I will be using this for 2024. So once you come in, there is a little letter from Kamiko. And then the who this book belongs to. As always, the budget book does come in with instructions on how to use it. What I have noticed is that through time, we all find what works for us in this whole journey. Very similar to the printout, it has, and let me just turn the page so it's easier for everyone to see, but it has the financial goal worksheet. Let me see. The little kink in the spiral is right at the beginning of the book. So it does start off with that financial plan that goes through the short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals. Something to kind of get you ready for the year. And then it has a reminder worksheet for memberships and subscriptions. I do use this to remind me of those annual subscriptions that always seem to catch me by surprise, like the AAA and the rent insurance and stuff like that. So this is a good worksheet to have. And I do transfer this from workbook to workbook. This will be the 3rd workbook that I do work on. So I'm really excited about this because this system does work. Then there's a sheet that goes over your goals so that you can break down how much you need to break down per month. And it looks like it's got space for 8 goals. Then it's got a yearly savings tracker. The workbooks have had this in the past. I don't use this sheet, but I'm sure that others who like to track their savings do that. And then it's the savings tracker, like visual worksheet. And you can use this for your sinking funds, it says, but you can use it for anything that you really want. And basically it looks like it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's got 12 boxes to split it up by 12 months or however you want to do it. And that, it looks like we got 2 sheets of that, which is awesome. Then we go into the yearly spending. Now I do try, and I use the word try to go ahead and fill this out because I like to know where my expense categories change throughout the year. I use something similar to this when I wanted to see what our average for energy or electricity and gas was going to be throughout the year. So this is a perfect way to kind of split that up. And it goes through all 12 months so that then you can look at a total for the year. And I think I'm going to go ahead and make a conscious effort to use this more next year. Now here's one of my favorite tracking tools. So it's the yearly balance overview. If you've seen my channel before, I do track our savings balance, our debt balance, and our net worth on here. And I have our debt graph on there. So when we start 2024, you are going to notice that I am going to put our value for December and then see how things move down the chart in the year of 2024. Now on this graph, you can use it for anything you'd like. I haven't found a use for it. What ends up happening is that June through December is on here, so I continue to put values on there. But I haven't had anything to really track here. So if you have any advice on what I should possibly try to track next year, go ahead and leave it in the comment section. As far as the yearly stuff goes, this looks like it's a new sheet in the Budget Mom workbook. This was a downloadable form that you could get off of the free resources on the Budget Mom website, but now they've included it in the workbook. And what I've noticed is that a lot of people will put what their goal is. For instance, let's say I want to save $120 for my insurance, my rental insurance. I'll go ahead and put that there and I will designate it a color. And that color can be used throughout the book to show anything pertaining to that account. So I think this is really good to have. I am thinking that before the end of the year, I want to sit down and kind of take account of how we've been saving our money and what's going to be the best option moving forward. The cool thing about budgeting is that you can always take a step back and just readjust where you think that you're going to need a little more or a little less. As time goes by, you start realizing where your money's being spent. If you saw my cash stuffing video the other day with my household, I put in $15 a week, and that seems to be absolutely perfect month to month as to what we need for our household. So that's not something that I'm going to want to edit, but things that I'm going to want to look at are our medical and possibly our car maintenance fund. Those are things that take a while to save up for, and we kind of go through really quickly. On here, we have a medical bill payment tracker. Now, I don't use this as a payment tracker because my health insurance comes out as a payroll deduction. What I do use this form for is to go through how much money we have in our HSA and also how much money we've been sending out for copays and things like that, so that I know next fiscal year what to adjust our HSA for so that it covers more. Now, obviously that's not free money. The HSA comes out of my payroll deduction, but it is easier to go ahead and increase that if I need to, or decrease it based on the needs of our family. Then it goes into two exact, and I'll just move this over so you can see, two notes pages, which is awesome. And then you go into the new month. All the months are going to be exactly the same. They do start off with a little quote from Kimiko, and I'm going to go ahead and jump to October because I'm sure some of you are going to jump into this book sooner rather than later. Now, as always, it comes with a 2-sheet spread with a calendar, and you can write in your dates. I am a Sunday starter. Some people are Monday starters, which is fine. And then you can write in your own numbers. I use this sheet to split up our bills throughout the month, and then I assign highlighters to them in order to tell me which bills are being paid by which paycheck. We are kind of a combination because I get paid monthly while my husband gets paid weekly. So we do spread things out to make more sense for our budget. Moving into kind of the weekly setup, here's that paycheck tracker, budget tracker that I fill out every week. So it looks pretty much the same. We've got the inflow, the fixed expenses, which are the bills, the variable expenses, the sinking funds, the extra debt, and the extra savings. So this is exactly the same. I personally fill these two sections out of order, but that's a personal preference. And I know that not everybody kind of does their budget that way, and it doesn't bother me because what I like is the structure of everything having a spot on the page. On the next page, we've got the cash envelope breakdown. I do use this in order to get the denominations that I take to the bank in order to see what our cash stuffing amounts are going to be. Now, I don't film this. I think I've filmed it once or twice. Let me know if you want me to include filming that. It's pretty just done weekly, and I split it up by $1 bills, 5, 10, 20, 50, and $100 bills. And that's just an easy way to have a little cheat sheet that I take to the bank for my denominations. Now, moving through the book, we are going to get that same setup for many weeks, which is awesome because one of the things I like about this system is that it's for so many different types of budgets. It's for those bi-weekly budgeters, it's for those monthly budgeters, it's also for those weekly budgeters. So this, for the month of October in this book, and I think all of them are the same, we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. So that should cover a whole month of weekly budgeting. Then we go on to the expense trackers. I have tried to use this, but it's not something that I stay consistent with. It is a good habit to have. I just tend to use that monthly setup with our spending. It's just a little easier for me. But the cool thing about this is that you can split it up by account and track different accounts throughout the month. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, So you get 6 of those. And you can do so much in this section. You can split it up by the week. You can split it up by account or by credit card or whatever you need to in order to kind of stay on track, which is awesome. And once again, I love the fact that this system is so customizable. Now, at the end, we get into my favorite section that I cannot stress enough is my favorite section from the Budget Mom system, and it is the monthly closeout. And I do film these pretty much monthly. This closeout includes the total debts, extra payments, and on this sheet, you get a good idea as to how much debt you paid in a month and how much you've paid overall on this journey, which is very informative for me. On the next sheet, they do the monthly net tracker. So it's all set up for you. What you do is, and I usually do it on the last day of the month. So today is the 30th of September. I will be taking all the values at the end of today, at the end of close today, to go ahead and fill my sheet. And you bring in last month's net worth. If you don't have one from last month, you just leave it blank and then start moving forward. You list all your assets and all your liabilities to get what your total net worth is. And then in this section, you can figure out what the change between last month and this month has been in your net worth, which is awesome. The next page is the monthly budget category breakdown. On this sheet, you go or deep dive into your total monthly inflow and you see what percentage of your income went to different accounts. I love this sheet because it tells me the big difference between what I budgeted and what we spent. I can keep an eye on what I need to readjust and change. It's just so much information that I use month to month, and I do share it in my monthly closeout. In this section, it breaks down the monthly debt and the savings breakdown. I use this sheet to kind of make sure that we're staying on track. It goes through the debt and the savings that went out during the month. I know that I want to keep our savings at about 10% and I want to keep our debt payment at about 30%. And this shows us exactly how much of our money went towards both categories and what percentage of those payments went towards that big, large sum. One thing you'll notice a lot is in my debt category, I like to see that the snowball debt that we are currently working on is the second or third highest percentage in our debt payment. We started off with 2 personal loans that would take a big bulk of this. Now, since then, I have paid one off, and so we're working on the other one. So I expect our debt payoff to look a little different. Our Upstart loan would probably take a higher percentage, but then our snowballs would come in afterwards. And that's something that I do really like to track. Last but not least, it is the monthly spending comparison. So what it does is it goes through what the inflow change was from the month prior and the current month. The cool thing is that you can pull this information straight off of the closeout for the previous month. So if you notice, and I went over that, if you notice, you're filling this form out on the 3rd page of the closeout. All you're doing is moving this information onto this sheet. The cool thing is that you can see from month to month what is changing. This is where I see if the car insurance went up from month to month or if they increased any bill. I can see that there was a difference there, and I can adjust our budget in order to include that overage or money less that goes out for those accounts. So that's pretty much what I use this sheet for. Then we have the October monthly meal plan. I historically have not used this. One of my goals for 2024 is to be more intentional on the meals that I make. I usually just work 1 week at a time, and it's worked for us. But I do want to, even if I don't plan ahead, have a record of what we've eaten throughout the month, just to see what worked and what didn't, what did we like, what didn't we not like, and things like that. So I am going to make a conscious effort to use this or something similar to this in 2024. Then we come into a notes section. I have not used this before simply because this is a sheet that I do not print. So I don't print this meal plan and this note section when I print my digital version. So I don't use this sheet, but it's good to know that there's a little piece of scratch paper in case I need to take any notes. And then they have the cash envelope slips. So if you've been on my channel long enough, you know that I have a little paper that I laminated, and I write and erase all of the denominations that I need when I go to the bank from week to week. This is for those of you who maybe are getting new to this or prefer to have something you can just use and throw out. But it's cool that they include 6 of these per month. And what you do is you tear this off and put your denominations in, and you can take that to the bank to get your different denominations. This is not something that I use. It's not something that I print, but it is good to have as part of this system, or have something similar as part of this system. Then we get into the next month. So that's going to be exactly the same as the previous month. So I'm going to go ahead and skip to the back. Here we go. So here's the end of December with those cash total slips to take to the bank. And it comes with stickers, which is awesome. These are all different type of stickers that are useful for this system. I use more of this, and my plan is to use more of this in my Erin Condren planner. So I will most likely use most of these stickers in there, because I don't decorate my Budget Mom workbook at all. I use it as my final draft and as my record for what went on financially on this journey through a calendar year. So I don't use these here, but I do really like them. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just tear this sheet out and like cut the end and set it in to use in my upcoming planner. Oh, we've got 2 sheets of stickers. On the second sheet, it looks like it goes through all the days of the month, which is awesome. So you don't have to write them in. You can use these stickers. It looks like they go from 1 to 15 and then 16 through 31. And it correlates with the colors of the months in the workbook, which is awesome. So if you don't want to just write them yourself, you can use these. And then we've got some more. These look like they're all payday stickers, which is good to have, especially when you are budgeting, that you can use throughout the year. Then we've got a 3rd page of stickers. This is different for me. This one's cool because it's got some little dollar bills It's got some flags. It's got like a writing box, some hearts, and then some icons. And it looks like it's got some flags as well. So these can be used also throughout the book. I will be using these in my planner, but these are always good to have. They're all different types of icons. Then we get into the pocket in the back. So this is a two-sided pocket and it's right in front of that back cover. My only thing with this is that it's not a full page. So let me see. I'm going to use this full sheet from one of the classes that I took for my professional development. But this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet and it does not fit in this envelope. It isn't the end of the world, because what I've noticed is when I'm doing my budgeting and things like that, I don't mind folding a sheet in half and storing it in there. So I'm just folding this sheet in half and that fits fine in there. So it's not something that's a deal breaker for me. Just know that you may need to either use smaller sheets of paper, like sticker papers. Let me just grab a sticker paper that I've got here on my desk. So it's perfect for storing a sticker paper or a half sheet of paper, and it still leaves everything really concise. These are very well made. It's like a thick cardboard, so it's not going to go anywhere. And that is it, my friends. Let me know in the comment section if you're going to be using this workbook again, or the actual spiral bound workbook in 2024. She did not offer this last year. We had to get the printable version. And thank you again to Abby for blessing me with your friendship and with gifting me this. I will think of you throughout the whole year and have great gratitude towards you for being on this journey with us since the very beginning. Well, friends, thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch my content. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you soon. Bye, friends.